Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another long-term update for you. Today, we have quite a few. 2, 4, 6, 8 knives and a multi-tool. So yeah, had a lot of catching up to do on this. I did one in November, holidays and all that stuff. Haven't done a long-term update in a while. Hope you guys enjoy these, usually seem to. So these are all knives that I've had for at least like 3 months, with one little caveat, which I'll explain when I get to it. And knives that I've carried a fair bit. Some of them more than others, but ones that I've at least carried a fair bit. And one that I've had for a really long time and I just couldn't believe was not in a long-term update, so that I could find. So here we go. These are arranged in no particular order at all. So I guess we'll just start out at the top. We have the Spyderco Spy Opera. Still really, really liking this thing. It is kind of impossible to take apart, which sucks because it's on bearings. But I've had no problems with that, honestly. I blew it out once with some compressed air, dribbled some oil in it. It's fine. Never had a big issue with that, but it does kind of always bother me in the back of my head. I do really like this, and I carry it a fair bit, especially for what it is. A lot of knives like this that I would consider, this one of my kind of more classy 3-inch knives, don't get carried much because I'm not doing stand-up. I'm not out at the club. This is the kind of knife that I would carry when I was doing that. So a lot of them have not been carried as much, but this one still has. I do really like it. Italian-made Spyderco, pretty rare, made by Lion Steel. You've got M390 steel on it. These are $175, which I don't think is bad at all. Looks on it are a bit polarizing. I've gotten used to it. I kind of like it, but I do really like the micarta on it. It is beautifully done. I like all the crowning on the spine and everything. I know I'm immediately get questions about, what about the Lion Steel M390? It seems fine. I don't know. I had to touch it up once. That's it. It doesn't seem to be obnoxiously soft or anything like that. But yeah, this is a knife I think too, once I'm allowed to actually go on stage again, we'll get carried even more than it is now. Next up, the Ferrum Forged Stinger, about $90. This was in my top 10 budget knives of the year, and it is a knife that I still grab quite a bit. Nitro V steel. Probably my most commonly carried kind of sort of budgety knife. Still really love the ergos on it. Still really love the blade. It's made by the Wee Civivi Sencut conglomerate. So triumvirate. So very thin behind the edge. Great action, all that stuff you'd expect. Nice deep carry clip. It is right hand only, as is with the Spy Opera, but the Nitro V's holding up really well. No issues with it quality-wise, and still everything I liked about it in the review, I still like. This is the G10 one. I do believe there was a carbon fiber for 110 that is long since gone, but I really do like the Stinger. It was close to getting budget knife of the year. It almost made it. Next up, this is one I just can't believe I haven't done a long-term update about. This is my Spartan Harsey folder. This is the full size. I have the 3.25 as well. I haven't had that quite long enough to do a long-term update on it yet, but you'll see that probably in the next couple of months once a few more come through that I want to do. This is an older S35 VN one. It's not actually that old. It's like 5 months old, something like that. Now they're S45 VN. Pretty expensive, $460, no denying that. But you get a 4-inch blade made in the US. This one is slightly different than the standard one in that I have a PVD coated handle and a regular stonewash blade. Normally you get stonewash and stonewash or PVD and PVD, but I just asked nicely and they had the parts, so they made it for me. I think they do that for anybody. I don't think that's just for me. But still really liking this thing for a large knife. And it's broken in extremely well. It's just, it's a great thing. I've gotten so I can front flick it pretty good. So I got in the hang of that. I grab this thing a lot. This is kind of one of those knives that if I see it, it winds up in my pocket, and have been really, really, really enjoying it. It's a great knife, absolutely for sure. Not inexpensive, but a great knife. Speaking of not inexpensive and kind of large, this is a Hinderer XM-24 sheep's foot. $595. I kind of don't understand why they cost that much more than an XM-18. An XM-18 is $425. The XM-24 is $595. Very similar design. It's just bigger. Maybe it's because they make fewer of them. I don't know. I do kind of wish this was a 525. I think would probably be better in my mind, but I do love this one. I got this because I have XM-24 Vintage Series, which is limited edition. And, I found myself carrying it a fair bit. But it is really limited and has a wooden scale. There's some other stuff. Like, I just didn't want to hurt it. I still carried a little bit, but I wanted to use our XM-24. That 24 Vintage convinced me that I actually do carry an XM-24, and it doesn't bother me, and I don't mind having something this large in my pocket. This is pretty heavy. I think it's 7 ounces, something like that. And yeah, $595, pretty expensive. I love the sheep's foot blade. This is a battle bronze, but it's not Hinderer's battle bronze. This came from USA Made Blade. Great place to buy Hinderers, by the way. This is their battle bronze, and then they bronzed all the hardware on it. They don't charge anything extra for that. They just customize some of them before they put them out, which I think is super cool. And then it came with this red G10 scale, which I was going to change, but actually it's grown on me, and you guys seem to really like it. A, it's really hard to find XM-24 scales aftermarket, and B, it's slightly translucent, the red is, and with this bronze underneath it, it comes kind of across as more of like a Merlot color. It works really well with the bronze screws and the bronze pivot, so it's probably staying. Working finish blade. Love the XM-24, and now this thing is broken in. Just with all that blade weight, they are obviously very drop shutty. This is running on bearings. You can run it on any of them. I did have it on washers for a little bit, and it was fine, but I did swap it back to the bearings. I just like the bearings better. I'm just a bearings guy. My Vintage is running on the washers and will probably remain so, but I like the bearings just a little better. Next up, we have a couple of Wiis. First up, the Wii Knife Guava. Before I get into either of these Wiis, I just want to say I've liked a lot of Civivis, a lot of the full-on production Wiis. I would say like first part of last year were kind of boring me. There wasn't anything that really like these, the titanium frame lock Wiis. I mean, I like the banter, that was cool, but a lot of them just didn't blow my skirt up, just didn't excite me. The Guava was the first one. Really, really like it. It's been a great knife. It has the this finish. This one isn't as much as the others, but it's like this PVD over bronze kind of stonewashy thing. Some of them are more pronounced. This one is not. You can see it a bit more on the other side, but normally that bronze comes through a little bit more. It's kind of disappointing, but not much. I mean, it's just kind of the way they chose to do the color on it. And I'm sure if I wanted to bring it through more, I could take some sandpaper to it or something and get that multicolored worn look to kind of come through more, but haven't bothered to. Still bronze hardware. Great action. Carries really well. It's a Rafael Brzeski design. I hope I'm remembering that right. Great designer. One of my absolutely favorites, BRR knives. I love the stuff he puts out, but his custom stuff is very expensive. This is not. This is, look at my own notes here, $235. So not too bad at all. And ergos are really good. Carries well, like I said. Has that usual Wii action. Very minimal flipper tab, which is nice. Great knife. The only Wii that's taking time out of its time out of my pocket, there we go, is the Mini Buster. This is the one with a caveat. So I did just get this like less than a month ago, but I had one as a loaner from Stasa 23 for quite some time. I really dragged my feet about sending that one back. So I have had a lot of experience with the Mini Buster. Now I've got one of my own. I'm throwing it in the long term because now I can say, having had two examples, they're both excellent. Very unique action on this. I don't know how to describe it. And it has broken in enough now that I can really tell, but it's got, so let me see if I can explain this well. I always screwed up. But this little pin here is both the detent and the blade stop. So the interface, whatever, with the blade. So what's nice is once you release it, there's no waiting to get past the detent ball. Like for example on this, there's that little spot there where, before it gets past the detent ball, there's none of that on this. It's just immediately right into drop shuttiness. And I love that. Sneck's design, Sneck's knives, his customs are 5 digits quite often. This is not. This is $289. 20 CV, full titanium. Comes in a finish kind of like this with a blacked out blade. And this plain one. So happy I finally have one of my very own, because Stas 23's big meanie wouldn't sell me the loaner that he sent me. Warren Cliffy sheep's footy sort of blade. I carry this more than the Guava now, but still. So 2 of the high-end Wiis that I'm actually into and are definite keepers for quite a long time. Next up would be the Microtech Combat Troodon Hellhound. You guys often ask, what is the most expensive knife that I own? If you don't count the modifications on some of the Hinderers, maybe one of the Hinderers, it would be this. This was $682, and I will always remember that because I paid full retail for it. And yeah, this was basically my 20,000 sub gift to myself. And this is the distressed gray finish. It's not worn out or beat up. This is just how it came. It's huge. It's terrifying to lots of normal people, and I like it. Carry it way more than I thought I would have, honestly. Doesn't carry that horribly because it is just kind of a nice little candy bar shape, so it's not too bad. But yeah, when you open that blade, alert the church! You definitely don't want to... This is a knife I always carry another knife with if I have this in my pocket. I have something else, so I don't scare the normies. But yeah. And ironically, I've said this before, it still has a bit of an aggressive spring, and with this aggressive milling, you know, on the fire button, it's gonna chew your fingers up a bit, but not as much as my smaller ones. And I expected this big old thing to be just crazy, like 2 fingers to get it open. Not that way at all. It's actually the easiest Microtech I've ever handled. So that's great. I love that about it a whole lot. But love this distressed gray finish. I like getting Microtechs in the distressed finish because then if I carry it and I scratch it, I have to go to sell it someday. I don't plan on selling this one though. Do not ask in the comments. I love this thing. It doesn't matter because nobody knows if that's my scratch or if that's the way it came. So yeah, my other OTF Microtech is a UTX 85 Bounty Hunter. Same thing. It's all scratched up on purpose from the factory, so that's fine. Next up would be my custom Benchmade mini Bugout. This is M4 with the G10. I chose the purple studs and purple standoffs. If you're not familiar with the Benchmade custom shop, go check it out. And they're adding more and more stuff all the time. Please add a 940. Please put the 940 at the custom shop. But they did add the Bugout. A lot of us went nuts and snapped them up. It is a coated blade, which I don't love coated blades, but Benchmade does not trust us mortals with non-stainless steel, because this is M4. It's not stainless. It's a tool steel. They don't trust us with it without a coating. So it's got a coating. But I love the G10. Love the way it carries, and it's just slightly more robust than the Bugout, which I already liked carrying a whole lot. They do have an S90V carbon one they just released for 2021, which is priced about the same. So I might have to get one of those because it's got blue standoffs, which are fine. It's not my purples, but it's cool. I could always swap them around, mine it with a purple and then put this to blue. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, that's a tempting one too. S90V, I hate sharpening though. I'd rather sharpen M4 than S90V. That's for sure, every day of the week. But I will say, this knife, if I didn't own a channel, I could carry this every day for the rest of my life and be completely happy. That's honestly how I feel about it. It's just an outstanding EDC knife. Still super light. It's a little heavier than a regular Bugout because of the G10, but we're talking fractions of an ounce. Ergos are good. I love the blade shape. Yeah, this, I know I just did it. There could be only one a while ago, but I didn't have this yet. I think I got Chris Reeve and Kosi one. I don't know. If I did it again, this might win. I really do like it that much. It is a fantastic knife. And next, a multi-tool. I don't usually do multi-tools on here very much. I want to put this at the end in case you don't want to watch the rest of it because you're not into multi-tools. But I've been really enjoying this Leatherman Free P4. I saw, I don't call it mixed reviews, mostly positive reviews, but a couple of people had issues with it. But I needed a new Leatherman, and oh, I just whacked a knife. Forget that happened. Forget that happened. It opens very easily, as you can see, and you can whack a Microtech with it again. Who knows if that's my scratch or not? It didn't scratch it at all, actually. But it comes with a pocket clip. I really wanted to have a Leatherman with a pocket clip, and I really enjoy it. I can't remember what other people even complained about with it, but It's really good ergonomically. These little quick release things, you can kind of feel those a little bit. But other than that, you know, it's not bad at all. I really do enjoy it. I do have 2 different other ways to carry it. I'll show you in a moment. But yeah, the whole point of this is a lot of stuff on this is one-hand operation. There's the blade, which I believe is 440C if I remember correctly. But yeah, lots of easy one-hand operation. Everything locks. You can just release it with that little thumb thing. It's a very, very, very handy tool. Especially I like the one-hand operation, and it's kind of do this off camera now so I don't whack a $700 Microtech again. It's kind of almost like a little pliers bally song sort of thing, which is kind of neat. It did come with this Leatherman canvas belt thing. I've never used it. And then also I did get from Stat Gear, they sent me this kind of faux carbon clip it tool thing. Clip and carry, sorry, clip and carry. The clip it tool is a Spyderco product. Clip and tool, or clip and carry thing. There I go again. Clip and carry thing. I do really like it. It does fit extremely well. It's very secure when it's in there. I don't wear a belt a lot, but when I'm doing stuff, the pair of pants I usually have a pair of like Dicey's work jeans that I wear a lot when I'm out in the garage doing stuff. I do have a belt with those because they're a little too big, and I do put this on that all the time. So this works really well. It's very secure. Hopefully I don't hit a Microtech again. But yeah, love the Free P4. About 140 bucks. They're not inexpensive. I don't think I mentioned the price of the Bugout. Yeah, maybe I did. At 240, which is I think about the same as what that S90V carbon production one is going to be. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed all this. That is my long-term update for January of 2021. Hope everybody's staying safe out there. Have a good one.